It's the beginning of the last quote-unquote workday of a long week. Woo! You're exhausted, tired, worn out from being intentional and wringing every last drop of productivity out of the week. Or so I hope so. Maybe you're thinking, I cannot wait for the weekend and TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. Stop. Don't do that. It's time to finish strong. Get your mind right and finish. It's not about how you start the week, the month, or the year. True top performers know how to finish. So listen. Listen to this short clip and get your headspace leveled up and go finish strong. This is Finish Strong Fridays.
The next level of results always requires the next level of thinking. I heard that on Rory Vaden and Lewis Howes' recent podcast on the School of Greatness, but it really got me thinking about this article that I mentioned on a previous podcast called The 8 Things That Self-Made Billionaires Do Differently. And I did a very poor job of explaining this on a recent episode in July of the Compression Podcast weekly episodes, but Ray Dalio has a billionaire entrepreneur strategy here, and it ties in very well to this notion of the next level of results always requires the next level of thinking. And so Ray says, learn how to think independently so you can be smarter than everyone else. And you can't make money agreeing with the consensus view. He says that doing what everyone else does is going to bring you average results. And that's the definition of average. So to Dalio, to Ray's point, the key to having enduring extraordinary performance is to do what others won't or can't and to be right. So let's break this down. There's a very simple table here where the consensus is on the top. So you have consensus is wrong, consensus is right. It's like the matrix, the Eisenhower matrix. And on the vertical axis, you have you are wrong and you are right. And so if you're in the top right, then the consensus is right and you are wrong, or the consensus is wrong and you are wrong. Where you want to be is in the bottom left, where the consensus is wrong, but you are right. And obviously this is easier said than done, but Dalio goes on to say, whenever you're betting against the consensus, there's a significant probability you're going to be wrong. So you have to be humble. And so here's the entrepreneur's hack here. Here's the billionaire entrepreneur's hack on how to up your game on the next level of thinking. And thinking independently is more than one simple hack. It requires a lot of different things. And you have to have the courage to stand up against the herd when you're right and everyone else is wrong. Point back to data, point back to experiences that you've had. You need to have access to or understanding information that other people don't have, and unique ways of analyzing that information. And that's what, Ray was an absolute genius of. And so there's some different things here that you can kind of research, okay? It's synthesizing. Charlie Munger talks about synthesizing, being able to connect a few different ideas into one new idea. There's first principles thinking, where you're going to deconstruct a complex idea or theory, then build it back up from the ground using your own mind. And I would start there with those two things on being able to think independently. But you also need to have really trusted resources of information. So find that information, ingest that information, figure out how to synthesize it, how to store it, read Getting Things Done by Paul Adams or Paul something. I forget, but the book's called Getting Things Done. But don't forget this Friday that the next level of results always requires the next level of thinking. Hope that helps. Go get some.
Hey compressors, if something you heard struck you, made you feel a little bit uncomfortable, good. Head on over to compressionpodcast.com conforming.com. And then you can also subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast at. If you feel inclined to, please leave us a review. It's obviously helpful. But instead, I'm going to call you out today. I'm going to call you out and make sure that you do your part, sharing this message by sharing it with one person that might need to hear what we talked about today. Be great. Nothing else pays.